LeBron James, he's the king. I'm not saying he's better than Michael Jordan. We're not having that conversation today.
No, don't say
That is not what it is.
We're not talking about the basketball player. We're talking about the husband, LeBron James, right now. In a recent interview, he said he wouldn't be the man he is today if it wasn't for his better half, that being his wife, Savannah, his high school sweetheart. It's safe to say that the secret to a successful partnership is putting your significant other first, possibly? What do you guys think?
I think that could be certainly part of it, but I just appreciate him honoring his wife and everything that she's been with him on the journey. Obviously, I'm not in a marriage to know, but for them to have been together, at least in each other's lives since high school, that's a big deal. Look at everything that he's accomplished.
Married for 5 years, 3 kids together, been together for decades.
Yeah.
I know. They're so sweet. They're couples goals. I mean, I just think like there's something to be said for those people in your life who've been with you since before you are who you are today. Hopefully, we're all the most developed version of ourselves at this point, right, guys? But yeah, like I mean, I hang on to I've been with my boyfriend for many years, but also like my oldest friends. Like I love them because they know so much of my history and they've been by my side. And I think there's just something to be said for those people in your life who are with you when your messy parts and your wonderful parts.
Yeah, this is genderless. You might see an uberly successful woman who's got a man that's been by her. And what was so impressive to me is how LeBron said, look, there was a time when I was just a really good high school basketball player, but I didn't know what the future held for me. And this woman was so loyal to me. She stood by me. She believed in me when I didn't know what I was going to become. She invested in our love, not what the financial future held. And for where LeBron has been, and this is a guy who I've chronicled and followed closely since he was 16 years old. Some people even further than that.
Yeah, you guys are both Ohio boys.
Earlier than that. And you knew he was destined for greatness. But the thing about LeBron James is he never, and I mean never, had a misstep in terms of, oh, you found him, out there with doing bad things in the streets,
there haven't been crazy
drugs,
news stories.
criminal stuff, running around on his woman, being a bad father. He's a great father to his 3 children, his 2 boys and his beautiful little daughter. He's a great husband to his beautiful wife. And people will come out there and say, oh, I'm sure he runs around on her. They have an open marriage. Hey, look, you can speculate all you want, but what we do know is a guy who is so polarizing, so much in the public eye. You've never heard any of those missteps
And don't
before.
you just have so much more
respect
respect for him because of that, too? You're just like, wow, this person is setting an amazing example that just because you can do that stuff, you don't need to be doing that stuff. You know that down the road in the future, you know that your family is going to make you happy and he's not trying to just run around and then have to start over again.
It's nice, though, because he's the celebrity. Like, he's the one that has all the attention, all the fame. The money is coming in his name. I'm sure they have some kind of agreement, as they should. But, like, for him to give her some of the shine, too, it's just nice. It's just really nice.
Yeah, and you talk about him setting the example. It sounds like she set the example for him. And she said, hey, this is how you need to maneuver through life. This is the kind of man I want to be with. This is like the man I'd like to see you carry yourself as. So much credit to Savannah right there. I love to see a strong power couple doing their thing. All right, well, actress Reese Witherspoon. Are you guys a fan of Reese Witherspoon?
I do like her, yeah.
Sure.
She's cute.
I'll take her.
I'm a fan of her now after this story right here. She's revealed that she thinks it's important to be brutally honest with her kids. She had to share some tough love with her daughter when her daughter cried about not scoring in a basketball game. Reese had to bluntly ask her, maybe she's just bad at basketball. So the question here I have for you guys is tough love and brutal honesty, is that the way to go in terms of how you should interact with your children?
That daughter now 18 years old. We show pictures of her son. That daughter now 18 years old.
Yeah, and she looks just like Reese Witherspoon, too. It's crazy. She's a doppelganger for her. I think, okay. Setting your kid up for success, like they're not going to be good at everything, but I think I would do it in a gentler way. I wouldn't say like, hey, maybe you're not good at this thing, which you guys may disagree with me on that, but I would say like, oh, look at what you are good at and try to like nurture those things that they are good at and not make them feel like they have to be good at everything because we're just not in life. We're just not.
You're the parent. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, it's a balancing act because I do think you don't want your kid to have a lack of self-awareness and not understand how the world works because it can be harsh.
Especially having a famous parent, right?
Yeah, so you want to brace them for what the future may hold. But the balancing act is you also want them to be confident. You also don't want them to steer away from trying to take that leap and trying to challenge themselves and do things because they lack the confidence because you've told them they can't. One thing I try not to tell my child ever is you cannot. Or you're not good enough.
But what if he wasn't good at something?
And that's what I mean in terms of the balancing act. We don't know how exactly Reese said it. She said she was bluntly honest. What I would probably say is, hey, son, you should pursue all sports. You should always give your best in basketball and see how far that'll take you. Always, anytime you step on that court, try 100%, see what your capabilities are, and then if it's not working for you, then try a different avenue. But I'll always be proud of you. I'll always be happy with your effort. and that's all you can really do. And that's how life works, right?
Because is it blunt or is it being honest? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
But I think you said it perfectly, balance. Because I was going to say from the other side, if you are being bluntly honest, I will say from your mom, that should be the one place that you can go to and always be accepted, always be encouraged. Even if you are horrible, you know, you should be able to get that love and acceptance and that encouragement from your mom that says you can do it, keep going, you know? So I guess balance is probably the best answer.
Because, you know, the other side to parenting is that the parent who tells their child they're the best at everything.
Yeah.
And no, it's
That's
not.
one-sided.
It's not you're bad at basketball.
Participation trophy.
Yeah, it's not you're bad at basketball. It's the coach is bad at coaching you.
Yeah.
Or the team is cheating on the other side, so you're not winning. And then that kid maneuvers through life thinking, oh, it's never me that's the problem with anything that doesn't go right.
I met a
Bulldozer
grown
parent.
person like that.
Yeah.
I met an adult like that.
And that may
it's
come
like,
with how they were groomed as a youngster. So it's a
100%.
balancing act. Be honest, but also empower your child because you want them to feel like they can do anything.
Yes.
You don't ever want to rob them of that confidence. It's
Yeah.
very important. All right, modern dating. We enjoy our dating conversations here every now and again. All right, so I'm gonna create a scenario for you guys. Imagine you're single, so remove the loves of your life. They're not involved. You're in the dating scene. All right.
Okay.
You go. Can you do this?
I'm imagining, yes.
Okay. She's like.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm there. All right, so you're on a fantastic date. It goes well with the guy. It ends very smoothly. You got butterflies. You're really excited about the future and potential with this guy. Are we still there?
I'm still there.
Okay.
Sounds exciting.
So right before, and there's two ways I'll go about this. You wake up the next day, you go into work, you're gushing, you're thinking all these great things, and then you see a text pop through on your phone. It's a Venmo request from him for half the money from the meal from the night before.
Same reaction.
Do you take issue with that? And does that change the butterflies? Do they stop fluttering in your stomach? And are you now down on that other person?
Yeah, your jaw's on the floor
That's
when
an
you hear
immediate
that.
phone call. I'm like calling your mom. I'm
Excuse
calling your
me.
brother. I gotta
Bad
see
look.
what happened.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, did you Venmo request the wrong person? I think
Yeah.
this is the fastest way to find out there's not going to be a second date.
Yeah.
Because who would do that if they were still into
let me
you?
infuse another part to this.
Hold on. For those not in the 21st century, Venmo is an app in which you send money. That's when you can send and request money and receive money.
Like PayPal.
Just imagine they're sending you a text like, you owe me $60,
Yeah.
send me a $120 tap. But let me ask you this. We're in a world now, a beautiful world, where men and women are on the same wavelength. Women are CEOs, men are CEOs, at least ideally. We're not fully where we should be right now in the world, but that's how women and men should be viewed, as equal. So why should that man feel like, I'm paying the $120 and that's just what it is? Should it be split? Both have the ability to earn money.
Yeah, but
No,
like you
don't
can
try to
talk
hit me with
about
that
it.
double
I'm not-
standard.
I wouldn't
I'm
subscribe to
shutting
this.
that down right now.
I'm just asking.
If we can't afford the Ruth's Chris dinner, there are a lot of other price ranges that you can
So
afford
it's the guy's
to treat a girl.
responsibility to pay.
I'm old school. I'm traditional. I think at least the first date, you should be chivalrous. That's chivalry, in my opinion. And you should
So
say,
chivalry
and,
should still
and
be
if
in
you
there.
don't
It's a nice
have money, we should work on that problem, not having money, and maybe you shouldn't be dating. But B, there's so many other things. Like I know myself personally, I would love a turkey sandwich, a picnic in the park.
The
That's
thoughtfulness.
free. Yeah, you
Yes.
got to pay for the turkey sandwich, but
Okay.
it's free.
Well, I just
Carly,
think like
you also with marriage, you believe like a woman should propose to a man.
I do.
Carly!
I do.
So you're not a traditionalist.
So what do you
I think
think?
so. So I think that this isn't an issue of equality. I think this is an issue of discussing who's going to pay as the bill's coming and the
So what if
credit
the guy
cards are
says it
sold
straight
out.
out?
You
What if he
would
says
be-
If
it
he
straight
says, "Will you split it?" then
Yeah.
I'll split it with him, and
On
I'm
the first
probably
date?
like going to be like, "Okay, I see how this is."
On the first date,
Yeah,
you're willing to
if
split the
someone
bill.
doesn't want to pay for your dinner, you're like, "Okay, so this gives me a little bit of insight of how this
Okay, girl.
relationship is going to go."
So
And
all-
I
I
would
would
split
say
it with
it.
them, and then just kind of be like, "All right."
So all the men listening need to know that if you're taking a woman on a date, you better have enough money to pay for the entire bill, right?
I mean, whoever asks
That-
should
not
be,
according to what she
whoever
said.
asks should be responsible for it.
Okay, there you go.
Anyway.